PMSL anymore, other than of course higher ranking to get more of the bonus, more of the prize pool cut. But for the cream of the crop, number 1 and also the number 2 spot, if some of the teams, if we get more teams who knows that, okay, you know what, mathematically it's not going to be possible anymore, then we might see more of that. So far, maybe not yet, or everyone is like, oh, after they had their meals, they kind of reflect, it's like, okay guys, you know what, let's play this like a gentleman, and everyone calms down after the break.
But I do have my eyes on Box Gaming, DX, and Void. Now these are the teams, including Sam9 down there. They can actually make it. They can be the one that change the tide for the teams up there. If they decided to go rampage, if they decided they have nothing else to lose, make it or break it time, and just fight for their dignity. Because right now, I don't feel like they can catch up to first place. Those actually at the bottom 4. It feels a bit of a far-fetched within just 3 maps for them to actually gain at least like what 60 points minimum. Like the 60 points will not even make it for Void here.
Yeah, a common number I would say is about the range of 20 to 25 points if you get a chicken dinner with the current meta. So if you kind of like times that, you probably maybe get 60 to 75 points. Still, it's not enough for a team like Void to actually get the number 1. And we have to consider that the other teams will still gain points too. So rough mathematical calculation, it's not going to be possible. Maybe even for like teams like, let's see, you mentioned Sam9, okay, Persija EVOS, probably not as well, because yeah, remember that the other teams will still add points too, so it's really tough for them. I think maybe if you want to give more focus, maybe up to like I'm just pulling out like maybe FaZe Clan on FaZe Clan above.
But speaking of which, there are cases where the top 5 team being eliminated by these guys early. If that's the case here, opportunity will be given to us the 7, 8 and 9 place, which is closest to us the top 5, and it actually is not that far off for these guys to catch up to the top 3. But there's so many conditions that have to be met by these guys if you want to push yourself. Like you mentioned, the other teams up there will start to get points, and so far they didn't fail to deliver. We're talking about Alter Ego. Even though they have 1 player left, usually that 1 player lasts long enough to be in the top 6 and the top 5 by the end of today. They know where they stand, they know how much it means for them, they know what at risk, so they do know they will not overextend certain fight.
Speaking about extending fights, Vampire Esports might be interested to extend the fight to Geekslate. Okay, they're waiting in case Geekslate rotates this area. They normally drop around the areas of Fairpier. So Vampire Esports, somewhere around Gatka, naturally it's probably, I would say it's more of like information gathering, considering they don't have a proper vehicle just yet. So they're gonna let Geek go for now.
Couple of teams, make it 3, make it 4 right now, are actually in the blue zone. That's included Vampires, FaZe, BTR and DX. It's kind of a rare sight to see the ties playing inside of a blue zone. Maybe one of the reasons due to the circle just having a bit of on the northern side mostly. But Persija EVOS, I missed their performance in the league. The moment they got themselves crazy amount of eliminations, we haven't seen that happening in the grand finals yet. Feels like some teams are being tamed down during the league and not showing their aggressiveness yet in the grand finals. So we waited for including here DX. And DX, I hate to say this, but I have to break it down. I don't think they can catch up anymore. The only one that possible, like you mentioned, coming up from maybe the minimum is going to be FaZe, but even FaZe is not an easy thing and not an easy task to do, because 1 map maximum so far, we haven't got ourselves 20 eliminations. The record's still not broken yet, and the most you can get is less than 30 points. It will be enough for side of FaZe to get that within 3 maps, to get themselves at least 50 points.
Taking a long pause here just to really think through. I would say no as well for FaZe. Taking into consideration that the top teams will also gain points, then probably not as well. Maybe not even FaZe, even though they got the they've broken the 3-digit mark. So yeah, probably FaZe is just going to try their best, see what happens this round and the last two maps. If it doesn't work out for them, the last two maps doesn't matter anymore. But now, looks like this team, the points still matter. It's going to be Boom. They'll be happy to take the first split. And we're going to see a very common circle. It's going to be the Medusa intersection. Expect 7-9 to be in the that sort of like a crater around the areas of Medusa intersection for them to be there. And if teams do sniff them out, they could be points for them to gather.
Speaking of Boom, taking on FaZe for the fights here, and they try to stop FaZe from getting any sort of information, even an entry for the circle. There's going to be Boom secures one out of Mormon, and that's already a huge one. We're talking about only 3 points different between the first and second place right now. Alter Ego, can they defend their throne? Because right now, I feel like Boom, they don't have a care in the world. They just want to go for the kills. They know for a fact that if they want that number one, they have to make it extra. They have to break the barrier. They have to fight their fear and just let everything loose. Unleash everything they have in the last Wrangle. And we do know Wrangles, this is where you still can fight the ties. Because when it comes to Miramar, they can go crazy in there.
Yeah, the stats definitely, I'm pretty sure it will favor the ties as well. But we remember inside Wrangle, like the ties do have a good stat too. Well, they got a chicken dinner, so that kind of proves it as well. But that doesn't mean that the other teams cannot put up a challenge. Just like RRQ. Happy to take down one member of Alter Ego, so that's going to be a handicap round for them this time. 3 players left alive.
Alright, Kunapega secures on another one. Side of the axe. Lost one. Some fights just here and there. Just giving a couple of warning shots even. If Alter Ego lost one earlier as well. Not great. But RRQ, they are in the top 10 here. Still can make it, but they have so much conditions to be meeting up to be number one. We're talking about back-to-back chicken, double-digit eliminations, make it 20 eliminations. If you want to have that one round of miraculous run, that's the number you're aiming for, 20 eliminations. But BTR sharing with Box Gaming on top of Skull. We've saw this before. Now, Skull will be so many teams trying to cut across this. There'll be a lot of visitors passing by. So you don't want to overstay yourself here. And BTR realize that after so many times we do have the Wrangle, School Circle and the Medusa intersection, a lot of teams want to just stay here for a bit longer, and the circle shrinks. Feels like very close to the last one, right nearby the Potato Hills of Pochinki, but the Medusa intersection is still there.
Yeah, so looking at 7-9's position, looks like they're not taking the common Medusa intersection area. Maybe they don't want to make it cliche anymore, because teams really would start to notice. I mean, even if we notice it, I'm pretty sure the teams would notice that as well. So they're trying to go for a different approach. And with the current circle, I am a bigger fan. I always have a preference for, like, if you talk about the school, like whether it's school compound or school apartment, neither one of those for me. I would like the school high ground just on top of the school apartment. And that's where BTR is at. But now we can see RRQ. They might lose one player. Mort is close by with Voldemort, but because Vampire Esports there, so they're not going to take the risk.
And you're feeding the beast down there if you keep on giving away the points with the top team. Speaking of Boom, they secures one. Vampire might want to go for another. Alter Ego been playing super safe here for the entire day. And they are not safe nearby the side of the Blues. And they lost one man earlier on. Vampire got knocked on Voldemort. But the problem is, those eliminations were taken away by another team, right? And Vampire is definitely devastated by that. They know there's going to be more than one team just based on how they're knocked down just now, being stolen away by the other teams out there. And do they want to respond to this, or RRQ, will they crash into it? Because RRQ, make it or break it, man. This is a time where you want to go Boom, and Boom is going down right now. Another player out. Razy knocked. But did they secure those eliminations?
Ooh, looks like the answer is no. They're going to be in the other compound, and it's going to be a long reach for Bacon Time. But Potato Hill, focal point for RRQ and FaZe Clan. And RRQ, they're playing with 3 players, so they gotta calculate their risks. They gotta take the calculated risk against FaZe Clan.
Mela, keep the pressure on with those nades. This is going to be one of the FMVP player for the race. Asa will respond with a couple of smokes first. Nepeko just gonna making all reason distraction on this side just to confuse FaZe about their whereabouts. FaZe unsure about the exact position. Do have a visitor from the back line. Pochinki Hills, the potato hills of Pochinki, crowded by two teams. Make it 4 after this if they extend this fight, because we have two teams playing on the outskirts. One of it's going to be none other than BTR. Another one, it feels like it's going to be Box Gaming possibly on the other end. I'm not sure. But Bacon Time, they're trying to gatekeeping this northern side of the circle right now. But they have to cut across if they want to get into the safe zone.
Okay, speaking about the zone, right? The zone moved down to Gig Slate as Nudo Alliance. Hale Esports is there as well. The rest of the teams trying to get in. But SLD and Void, they need to manage the road. They're in an intersection. That's not going to be good because Gig Slate will be waiting there.
CJ Evos now cornered. None of these teams actually inside of the circle. It just shifted away just now to the side of Medusa intersection. Not too far off still. 200 meters to the side of the circle. But CJ Evos, this small shack have no roof. They have to pray no mollies flying on their way here. You do Alliance, Potel, RIQ, Rapper Boy, and Kenny. Rapper Boy has been playing the grand final the past few days here, Cloud. It shows that he's back for his game.
Yeah, Olio has been taking a backseat instead. So Rapper Boy with him in the lineup so far utilized not too bad. And with 3 games to go, 35 points difference than Alter Ego. It's still doable for you to Alliance, but of course, like what we talked about earlier on, they need to start it now. Like chicken dinner with a lot of eliminations, and it's still possible for them to pull off a surprise.
Speaking of surprise, hello Tranji and Armstar having a go. He popped himself a smoke, and SLD, the entire crew is there. Bacon Time greeted warmly by these guys, with Procedure Eve was taking the back seat and being the third party. SLD repositioned themselves. When they heard the audio cue, they sprays over Bacon Time in trouble. Lost one player on knock, but there's Procedure Eve was on the other end. They have to wrap things up fast, and Chuanji make an entry for Bacon Time. This is huge for Chuanji.
Beautiful, 2 eliminations for him. But at the same time, Boom fighting against Vampire Esports elsewhere, and Boom only has 1 player left. Newsy with the nade could land onto Hexas, the last man for Boom. Hexas managed to reset himself, but then again the rest of Vampires are in. Hexas in trouble, and Boom is out.
Oh, it's going to be taken over by the side of Vampires. They eliminate their top contenders here. Second place open for Vampires. Can they take the number 1 with 3 eliminations by now? Alter Ego still not making a move. Vampires cluster up together as a 4. Box now trying to surround her every corner possible and trying to bait them out and flush them from this compound. Do they have the mollies? Do they have this grenade to keep it going? They might want to clear the corners first. Box split into 2 formation, while Straps going for the flank, playing on the outer skirts of this house.
Oh, Winnie with the nade, waiting for the right moment to toss it on to Vampire Esports, but Levitz going in for the circle, just gathering information. Levitz got to be careful, but the smoke is helping him together with the ledge as well. Vampire Esports, they're surrounded by Box Gaming. Box Gaming know that they're like a wildcard team. You don't know what will pop out of them. And if you can take out Vampire Esports, that's going to be devastating for them.
Vampires, they have the patience. They just need to have the composure and a solid mind state. Winnie, perhaps the Nate Newsy will be the next contender, but coming out from Box, Winnie open up the rest of Box Gaming. They will be crushing the dreams for Vampires to take the second spot. If they manage to secure this fight, this skirmish is scrappy plays from Box, forcing Vampires to be uncomfortable, and the next number 1 spot is going to be still Alter Ego. Vampires being wiped out.
Oh yeah, that's good news for Alter Ego. Let's see how many points can they secure. What's the gap that will be after this round. SLD now onto D Xavier, twas splat by Parjin, and that's going to be a point in the back for SLD.
For SLD, 1 man knocked, they still can revive here. On the other hand, Box Gaming, due to the fight against Vampires, is still in the blue zone. Alter Ego nowhere near to be found around this corner of the map for now. D-Act with 2 players, Rabies and Lamborghini. They try to force the fight. Rosemary, they have to be extra careful. Top 2 teams are out. Alter Ego being the next target for these guys, and they're going in for the hunt. Sam9 taking a head-on strike against Alter Ego, but trying to distract him with those buggy Fnatic. Try to make sure Loyu cannot focus on Potato, but Loyu is committed to it. Almost got a splat. Take it down. Pulled over. Fnatic secures on Loyu's side, but the rest of Sen9, how did they respond to this?
Oh, precise prone shot there by Fnatic, and now Dep is all alone at the forefront against Alter Ego. Rosemary and the nade, they know exactly where Dep is set. The nade will be tossed on the Dep side. 2 nades evaded by Dep. Fnatic is going to go in for the wraparound.
Lost Octa for Alter Ego. That's gonna hurting them quite a bit because of their main fragger down, as well as Rosemary still there at least, but never mind. Dab close, but still clutching over Alter Ego. This is gonna be their bane. 1 play for Sam9, but being shot from afar. Yudu Alliance saved the heck for Alter Ego for now. They still can sell at number 1, but the rest of Sam9 is there. Lone coming in to finish off. No, top 3 all gone.
Oh, and look at this. The taunt coming in from the Sam9 camp onto Alter Ego. And with that means that the number 1 spot will be unchanged for now unless SLD can pull off something insane. But Yudu Alliance now, they're busy with Hale.
SLD and the rest of Yudu Alliance, they can actually go up for number 1 if they need to. The top 3 is almost gone now. They can't actually get any points aside from Vampires early on. That's it. Hill, the next contender for the top spot, but caught himself in a sandwich. Void and Yudu Alliance compressing them multiple angles at the same time. Lifting those elevations, spraying on top of the smoke. 1 knock on side of Hill. Yudu Alliance have 3 eliminations by now, and Adiglook wants for one for himself. Void on the other hand, spotted out by Sky. Now, the one that can actually stop Yudu Alliance is going to be coming up from Void, but Hale caught them off guard. Max tried to reposition himself. The net almost clipped entirely to a Sky, but the smoke will buy them a bit more time.
Oh, but how much time does he have right now? Because Yudu Alliance getting closer and closer. Sky only critical health right now. Adilu is going to go in with a UMP in hand. He can't spot his opponent, but finally he does, and that means Hale is out. Yudu Alliance is not done yet. They have Void to deal with.
Max here shredded almost his vest and his helmet here, hoping that Vehicle can catch a couple of players, pick them off 1 by 1. Keenan finish off, Mort taking on FaZe Mela, but Yudu Alliance still have a 4. Void left with only 2 or 3 players here. They'll be shushed out from the zone. They'll be denied the entry by the hands of Yudu Alliance. Lamborghini down to last player for the side of D-Ax. Same goes for SLD. SLD, they have a shot for the number 1, but they cannot afford to lose it.
Oh, yes, they cannot, because the top contenders have been eliminated. This is actually an opportunity for SLD to try to catch up, but now it's going to be the zone that's going to be the bane for them, as well as D-Xavier. D-Xavier with an 8, Drong's in right now, managed to pick up Parajin, but it's going to be the duo that's going to do it to the end. Now we're back to Void versus Yudu Alliance.
Lapar left with only the last player for side of Void and keep the fire open, but Adiglook finally scored for himself. 9 eliminations for Yudu Alliance now. Can they keep it going? SLD Parajin opening up with flanks, but trying to bait out the shots.
Oh,
but
no.
this is not a safe buggy anymore. He needs to build this one out close enough. Kenny again pulling so much work for the side of Yudu Alliance, but Parajin managed to get out from there unscathed and slightly just a bit of scratches here and there. But lucky enough, we got a couple of rock in between. But the problem is in the center of attention. There's also coming up from the back line another team, which I think is going to be Yudu Alliance. And then Geek Slate around him. RRQ around there somewhere as well. And the moment he pops his smoke, all these guys just want to shoot Parajin down.
Oh, Kenny knows where Parajin is at. The nade will be tossed out, but the smoke is just a diversion. It will not land onto Parajin. The second nade as well. Probably going to be the same case. But Parajin's moving anyway. He's not going to take that risk. He's not going to stay there. Now Parajin healing himself up. He has the circle though, but his position kind of compromised by Yudu Alliance.
Down to 5 teams right now with Yudu Alliance taking the domination for those eliminations. SLD leaving with only one more player. RRQ, that's going to be end of the journey in Wrangle. Still got 2 more maps on Miramar. 10 for now for Udo Alliance, taking 10 eliminations just by themselves. Gig have a 4, Box still have a 4. But SLD, that one player can change so much between the big Titan teams that still having full roster. 2 Malaysian and 2 Vietnam team left. Juno spotted out by Kenny again. Kenny knows exactly where to look.
Yeah, he knows, but it's going to be damn good. Finding Paragen first, and SLD is out. Number 4, 7 elimination points. Gig Slate, 4 elimination points so far. They have a compound still.
Well, sort of Gig Slate, they still have the compound, yes. They do have the circle for how much longer. The rest of the team coming up from Udo Alliance spreading out, open the angles and trying to dominate the map. Same goes for Box to 2-2 formation, but Udo Alliance can feel their confidence here. They spotted out the smokes coming up from Chunos, want to take up the fight. They do have those elevations, but they have no intel for the whereabouts each of the player from both teams. Kenny, on the other hand, knows exactly where to look. Everywhere he looks, there'll be somebody be shot down by his crosshair.
Ooh, yes, and you just mentioned it, but it's going to be damn good. Knocking down Junos. Now that could be an opening for Udo Alliance, but they don't have the information yet. But now pressure is going to be on to Gig Slate as the circle moving away.
We've got a bit of a slight elevation with those buildings. The circle happened to be favoring all the teams, quite generous in the center. The one that furthest away is going to be Kenny from Udo Alliance. He's going to be the anchor for the team to be on the one in the off angle area, shooting on the blind spot of all the other enemies out there. But for Box, how do they respond to this? They got one knockdown, they can't save him, but Levy will fight back, taking out one of the most crucial player in Gig Slate. Damn good, bleeding out on the ground. But the rest of the teammates will not respond yet. They want to see the information. They need those information to start shooting. But Levy spotted out Snipes and starts to take it on Levy in an instant.
Oh yeah, with Micro Uzi gameplay, close quarters combat. Gig Slate 5 elimination points now dominating. But Udo Alliance still in a good position. They need to move a little bit forward, but since they have the high ground, it's going to be a-okay for them. Boss Gaming tries to take out Gig Slate.
Winning. Might actually spot out Ripple Boy, but the distance just too far. The Blues are closing in. They cannot stay here anymore. They need to move. Box will be the first one to actually burn out by the Blue Zone. But Stuxnet and Gig Slate on the other end. No way out for Box. This is it, the inevitable. They have to bow down early. There's no way out for Winnie. Both eyes on them and being tapped out by Flax in the last minute. Udo Alliance secures Winnie in the last minute. Box Gaming eliminated with 6 elimination. 4v4. Fair playground, back to square one between Udo Alliance and Gig Slate.
Oh, here we go! Udo Alliance on Gig Slate to take home this chicken dinner. Now we can see that Gig Slate, they're opening up the flanks. 2-2 formation. Udo Alliance still holding on to the high ground. Flax being knocked down by Snipes. This is an opening for Gig Slate. They're going in. Damn good. He has the confidence. He's moving towards Udo Alliance.
Mika spotted a man. Oh, but damn good again by the Blue Zone and the player. As always, Gig Slate having a problem with those last-minute Blue Zone, but they did it before against Udo Alliance. It was a 3v4 back then. Now it's a 3v3. At least they got better numbers than the last time they fought against Udo Alliance. In the same spot, in the same situation. Now Stuxnet and Snipes try to finish off Kenny, but Mika coming up from off angle. They are spreading in the line here for Gig Slate. Can they finish the job? But Udo Alliance, they have to cut across. Both teams are not in the circle right now. They're both be pressured by the Blue due to their position, while Mika trying to find any way possible. They have no info or intel where the players of Udo Alliance, but Ripple Boy managed to slip by.
Oh, Udo Alliance, they've been pinned down by Gig Slate. They've been pushed to the corner right now by Adelu trying to get on to Snipes. Snipes, oh, Stuxnet is down. So looks like they're trading it back. And it's going to be Kenny. Mika down as well. So Snipes against the wall. This could be it for Udo Alliance to get the chicken dinner. Can they secure the elimination point onto Snipes, or will Snipes deny himself to the zone? Right now, Stuxnet is asking for help, but there's no way for him to save his teammates. Snipes, now 1v3. Can they pull off an insane clutch? It's going to be hard for Snipes, but it's not impossible as well. But Udo Alliance not a pushover team.
Snipes did it before. It was 1v4 before this. He can pull it off again. But the Blue Zone, as always, making such a hindrance. He has no way out now. Left, right, center. Snipes being fired by Kenny.
Oh!
But finally, Udo Alliance managed to close it against Geek Slate this time, not making the same mistake. This chicken dinner is so much value for Yudu Alliance, but what about our champions? Who will take the number one? Because Yudu Alliance, the last time we remember them, they were in the second page.
Yes, they were, and this is a good amount of elimination points as well for Yudu Alliance. And it's going to be sticker time very soon. But anyway, Yudu Alliance, with this sort of performance, they could be in contention for the number one. Ardit Luke, again as the MVP, 7 elimination points, 1,289 damage dished out by the man himself. Yudu Alliance.